Miami, 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 Miami. It feels like Miami.
Welcome to the Miami Heat Postgame Show. I'm your host, Giancarlo Navas. And with me today, we have the producer and intern, Pablo.
What is up, everybody?
We got Saucy Takes, Coach Lou.
Hey, to those who follow me on Twitter, y'all saw it before a tip-off. I fucking live for these games, man. Give me these games. I understand. Give me these fucking games, man. I'm doing wonderful,
I'll take
man.
60 of these.
Shit, this is a great man. Fuck
up.
Doc Rivers.
You
Fuck the Bucks,
Saucy
baby.
are sickos. You love
I love
undermanned, prove yourself kind of games. Last on the panel, the GOAT, the basketball genius, the great Siobhan. What up?
Hello, motherfucking O people. How
What a
far
day.
are thou? What a
How
day.
art thou? What a day. Okay,
I'm
we have so much to get to. We're gonna go, and I like to do this after games like this where you have so many people bawling the hell out. We're gonna do who we thought was the one, like who we want to give a little love to, who we think man of the match, all that stuff. Pablo, we'll start with you, and then we'll go counterclockwise here. Who you got today? Who you want to show a little love to on what is truly Miami's first
This is the
real
statement.
signature statement win over a contender on the road without Jimmy Butler. Absolutely pancaked the Milwaukee Bucks. Dame got beat by the package.
I wanna let Bon go first because the real player of the game is her son, Jovic.
Let's go Bon first. All right, Bon, listen, today's your day. Speak your truth. We're gonna go clockwise. We'll start with you.
Welcome to Nico Hive. Refreshments are in the back. You're a little bit late. We're about to start closing the doors. It's about to not be, much more admission. So you better get the fuck in while it's still time. Shout out to that kid. I love him so much. I've been screaming for years now. If you want to be a better shooter, you will be a better shooter. It's not, it's just effort, it's work, it's reps. It's the want to. All that other shit, though, is stuff that you cannot teach. You cannot teach height. You cannot teach just natural feel and knowing where to place and move and put the ball. His defense has gotten so much better. He's leveraging and using his own length better. He's learning how to use his strength. And he's just large. And so what does that do? We're pulling a large body away from the basket. We're opening shit up. It's just shout out to him. 8 for 13 from the field, 5 from 8 from 3, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, career high 24 points. A+, my kid. That is my firstborn. Jaime is my son, but Nicola is my firstborn, and I could not be happier.
Lou, floor is yours.
Oh man, everything she said, man. Hey, Bon, close the fucking gates, Bon.
We need to give Bon a segment.
If they're not
what
here
she
now,
said.
they're not allowed in. It is what it is.
Gee, I feel
Man.
like that would be cool. That feels like very horn tooty, but that feels like a cool thing. But the gates is almost closed. Like,
fuck
you got to
them.
the
I'm
end
closing
of this
them.
episode.
I'm coming back from the fridge with a nice cold one, and I'm closing them fucking gates.
I'm with
But I gotta get everything she said, man. Y'all already know Jovic for sure. But if there's one motherfucker that today deserves some goddamn love, is Duncan. What is it? Dunkyard Dog? Shit. Are we gonna talk about this, man? Are we like just everything? The confidence, the shit talking. I love the enforcer, like they're saying. Duncan Robinson is the enforcer.
How did we get here?
Pablo,
how did we? It felt like.
Can you put the clip up of Duncan talking his shit to
Play
Jay
that
Crowder's
shit,
face?
He was talking to the bench too first. I was, man. And this was off.
Look at that. Look at him. Just in his face.
He is like that, bro. He is like that.
So hold on, guys. I actually have a version with audio. I'm playing it right now. So this is
About to
a
be
version
so stupid.
that I have with what happened? We have a version with audio, so I'm playing it out.
Days like
Fitting.
today is why we miss hangover time, man. We would be
No,
ripping them a
stop.
fucking new one.
Oh,
No.
we get canceled. We gave
Trust
the
me.
8 whole minutes of game time. Oh, we get canceled.
Imagine imagine the black in time after this game.
It's Black History Month too, and we had all these
Oh,
white
my
men
God.
going
Oh.
crazy. We get
I
fucking
saw
canceled.
I saw Chef Truly tweet out. It's like, damn, Duncan couldn't wait.
That's fine.
Hey,
Go-
Red State Duncan is a problem. Let's just start with that. Like they put their best perimeter defender on Duncan Robinson, and he torched him. It was Crowder. It looked like Crowder was moving in molasses. I don't know. And then and then they switched Crowder and put him on a Jovic because they're like, we can't keep letting him do it. And Duncan was like, oh, y'all are just gonna put who on me? All right, come on. We shoot over those. The whole game, driving by people, getting to the rim, making it easier for everybody. Like, shit has to be said. And big props to Duncan and Tyler working a date. The offense did not feel stagnant one goddamn bit.
Not
It's
at
almost like when you play with intention, when you play with some fucking energy, it doesn't matter who's playing together. As long as you want it to be how you got it to be. You feel me? Shout out to the whites today, man. All the leches.
The leches. Pablito, who
The
you
real
got? Who
big
you want to give a
heavy
little
cream
love to?
game.
Well,
Game.
Jovic and D-Rob by far were the two best players on the court today. Both Bon and Lou said everything I wanted to say. But I have to go with one more leche, and I have to go with Kevin Love. Kevin Love off the bench today was absolutely
cream.
balling. The energy he brought on, he was rebounding, he was hustling. That challenge by Spo when Kevin Love stole the ball, what a brilliant challenge. And the threes that Kevin Love was hitting, he was spacing the floor. The team today, phenomenal. The offensive I want to give love to the offensive process for our team today because we fucking looked like an offensive team. It fucking looked amazing today. Bam with the triple double as well. Like, you can't ask for a much better game from the pieces we had playing today.
I mean, I want to give my shout out to Spo because we give him a lot of shit for being stagnant and not doing changes. Today felt deliberate in what they did different. They played fast. They played intentional. They brought back, and I think a part of this is because losing Rozier after trading away Lowry with Jimmy Butler and Josh Richardson out, those are like 3 of your only 4 or 5 ball handlers. And they decided that they were like, hey, let's go back to power of friendship, dribble, handoff, movement, cutting, empty corner nonsense, some schoolyard bullshit. And schoolyard bullshit wins games. And they moved with intention. I mean, early in that game, you saw that energy was different. They were running handoffs, screener slips, guys moving on the weak side, relocating to corners, guys cutting, everybody moving, everybody having a purpose in the offense that isn't standing around or screening then doing nothing. And to me, that's the biggest difference tonight. It's really the first time I feel like I felt this way about them all season long. All season long. The Heat scored 115 points per 100 possession in the half court today. Who are they? Milwaukee, 90.
Milwaukee sucks, bro. I hated watching them today.
Miami's offense was almost better in the half court than it was in transition. 121 offensive rating in transition, which is kind of average. So really funny that they were so good from the half court to, just, man. But shout out to them. Shout out to Spo and the coaching staff for making sure that was priority number one. Because I mean, that you had to have a change. Let's listen. I want to talk about Jovic now. We can all kind of get in on the conversation because sometimes you need some things to happen to your team to allow it to make sense. Because coaches and GMs got to manage egos, got to manage personalities, and sometimes guys aren't ready. as Bond said, Jovic tonight, I thought the defense was really solid. He had a couple, young player mistakes, had that foul on
Right.
Dame, which I don't think he gets the Ferris whistle, to be honest with you.
Bullshit
I think
call.
that bullshit call, in my opinion, but it's fine. Like, I think young players like him are not going to get the benefit of the doubt, and a guy like Dame is always going to get the benefit of down low calls like that. So I understand, but there were a couple plays, Lou, where he would double Giannis and then go recover out to the shooter. Particularly in that Dame foul, it was just on the second action that he committed the foul. But can you bring to light a little bit what he's doing defensively that has improved so much? Because I thought not only did he survive, but he was positive at times.
No, he was definitely positive defensively. It's just his sheer IQ and length. Like, the tools that you can't teach is what allows him to thrive defensively. A lot of people were giving him shit basically all last year and even this year because he's not a center and they were playing him in drop. He doesn't know how to do that. Yes. But today he was playing as a wing and he was just like, go do shit on defense. You don't gotta guard. Yeah, just go be long, go disrupt shit. And it's almost like he is so intentional with his doubles that the team knows how to rotate behind him. He doesn't come with these like half-ass doubles. Am I going to? Am I not? And if he does, he knows, like, it's almost like they were just in like unison today. Like, everybody was on the same page. They had 6.5 hours of driving. They had to bond. They had nothing else to do. Like, it was not, but he was like, for real. Like, he was doing all the little things he does. Like, he's been doing correctly defensively. Even the foul on Damian Lillard, after Lillard had kind of gotten hot there for a bit. Caleb messed up, went under a screen. Then Lillard hit a tough shot. Then he got another layup to go. And it was like, we got to stop him. And Jovic, being aware of the situation, of the shot clock, of like the run, the momentum, he doesn't allow him to get that three off. Like, he, closes off. Obviously, he got called for a foul. It was ticky-tack, whatever. But shit like that, like, you can tell his processing is not one of a 20-year-old. And that's kind of what I'm trying to get at. Yeah, the fact that he has size makes a difference, especially when he's bingo. Like, I don't even know if he got a block today. They didn't count him for one. He definitely, out of those 3 blocks, he should have been credited for at least 2 of them because he was just helping and somebody else got him. Like, just timely things. And it allows Bam to be free. They also, it basically was like, Bam, your sole assignment is Giannis Antetokounmpo. We are barely going to help. Like, if he wins, by all means, but he did his job against Brook Lopez. He did his job against Giannis a couple of times that he was on him. Obviously, it's Giannis. He got him a couple of times, but just being able to not be a complete liability, have some size, close possessions with the rebounding, because God knows we need that sometimes against some of these bigger teams. Just fucking sensational, man. He should definitely play from here on forward. Fuck what they said.
I'm going to give you a crazy stat, guys. Milwaukee, 38 rebounds. Miami, 47.
Damn.
Milwaukee's huge.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. That's we wouldn't say that size is a strength of Miami, but they cleaned up on the boards. I mean, in and of itself, that's impressive. Bam finishes, with a triple-double. We haven't even mentioned him yet. 16, 12, and 11. Jovic grabbed 7 boards. Just an all-around really solid contributing rebounding night from everyone. Kevin.
What that allows you to do is, so even if so if it's 2 bigs, if it's Bam, Jovic, Bam, Kevin, even if one of the bigs doesn't get it on their own, they're probably those still better able to hold their box out assignment better. And so you don't have to have 2 people trying to box out one person. So now, like, the Tylers and the Calebs, Duncan can kind of swarm. Bam had a great box out on Giannis against the baseline one time. And it's stuff like that. Like, even if the bigs aren't getting it, they're still better able to ward off the opposing size so that our active guards and wings can kind of come in and scoop it up. And about, like, you're absolutely right about Jovic in space. And it's such a stark improvement to what he looked like in space when he first started getting minutes from the team. I'm not really talking about this season, because I personally have felt like he's had a bit of a kind of consistent defensive progression kind of all season. But early on last season where he was first kind of getting some wind. There was a Brooklyn game last season where he didn't really look good in space at all. But yeah, he's not a drop big, but if he just has to continue to leverage and use his length, you can be in two places kind of at once without having to commit the whole body, and it allows you to like keep a base about yourself. His improved strength is what's allowed him to contend with Giannis as able as he was. And even at the point earlier in this season, understanding that he is long, he would kind of just immediately go into like one of these under the basket. You're seeing him, while still not getting a great whistle, but you're seeing him like body a little bit more, or understanding that he has the ability to body a little bit more, and then kind of walling up a bit later than he was kind of earlier. And that just comes with like feel and having time in the game, and understanding like the changes kind of in your body, but playing and using them as the strengths that they are.
One of the things that I think is really underappreciated about what he gives is because, especially tonight, he was shooting the ball so well at his size. Miami can run action away from him, and he
Yes.
could be on the weak side. And when he gets the ball, that closeout, a lot of times that help at the nail is not his size, because he's a big guy. So if that guy rotating is not Lopez or Giannis, he's gonna have a size advantage. So he can either shoot over them, he can attack, which he did a few times. There was one where Duncan tried to isolate. I don't remember if it was Beverly or somebody. Didn't get much off of it. Couldn't really get the step. Jovic is there kind of as a one pass away guy, and Jovic is able to kind of attack off the dribble with the short clock. And it's situations like that make the difference in a game, right? Because Milwaukee, that was around the time Milwaukee was knocking on the door, right? They're around 9, and credit to Miami, by the way, because I think a lot of us, even as well as they were playing, we thought, here it comes, right? Here's a collapse. And Milwaukee got it within 9. He do what good teams do. Okay, you had your little run. We are going to punch back. We are going to play our game. We are going to go to what's working. I think sometimes teams get in molasses and they get into bad habits, and they keep doing, they go away from what was working. Miami did not do that today, so credit to them. But, Jovic was a huge reason why. Let's talk about Duncan and Tyler together, guys, because, I'm starting to think that they can work together. I think lately they've played pretty well together, and today is the best I think they've looked together, especially in that first half. I thought they were clicking. They were playing off of each other, which was crazy. You don't see that a lot of the times. They were screening for each other. They were moving. They knew where to be if the other one was kind of handling or running some offense. That to me is such a difference maker, especially in the stretch where you're going to be out Rozier, you're going to be out Richardson. So these guys are going to have to play as your only guards, right? Thankfully Jovic is in the lineup, but that's going to be huge for them. But again, that first half, they were humming. Duncan Robinson has shown you what he can do in the pick and roll. Had a great lob to Bam today. Froze Lopez off a little pick and roll, was able to kind of bring the defense in and kick it out to, I don't know if it was Hero or Jovic, one of the two, for a 3. It's kind of things like that when you have these two ball handlers, Pablo, that open the game up for everybody else, and they're going to need that production out of both of them.
On their offensive side, the way they were playing off of each other, the way they were spacing the floor, giving the whole team space to work with, giving Bam space to work in the paint. Hero, it didn't feel like he was forcing anything. He looked like he was playmaking, letting the game flow. Same with Duncan. Duncan was coming off Bam screens, people chasing him, and he was making those threes. But if he really wanted to, it could have been a dump off to Bam every time, because they were sending doubles at him. And on defense, they both played very, very good together. It didn't look like Duncan and Hero of old, where it was whoever offense on them too, like it is when the Celtics play. And it, like, to your point, I'm getting a little bit more confidence with them being able to play more often together, since it's our only option. But the offense was clicking with those two tonight, and I'm excited to see how it continues on with tomorrow's game.
I mean, Lou, I want you to jump in, and then we can go to Bond on the same thing. Like, I think those guys figuring it out is incredibly important for this team, considering they're both on 2 of their bigger and longer contracts. And, they're going to have to make a decision on Duncan soon also. And I think the fit between the 2 of them is important.
No, yeah, it's super key. But today didn't really feel like you didn't the biggest thing with them two, at least offensively, is that sometimes Tyler tends to just over dribble a little bit too much,
Mhm.
and it takes away from what Duncan does. But today they completely went away from that, and they almost use Bam as the central hub
Yes.
while still getting into space and still getting these pick and rolls. And it was just being able to do these handoffs. And now, again, I know it's obviously Tyler Duncan, but with Jovic in there, you can swing and then have another weak side handoff
Yes.
for one of these two guys. Like you basically have two hubs to do the same thing.
Yes.
Obviously, Jovic might not be the level of like screener that Bam is in these dribble handoffs, but it still puts pressure on the defense, especially because he's been able to shoot the three. So not only do they got to close out, like it just allows the ball to zip along a little quicker. And I think, for as much hate as Tyler has gotten for his dribbling and his over dribbling, and some of it has been rightfully so, I think he is really honing in recently over these since that meeting that they essentially had. Like he's doing a lot of the little things a lot better, just getting off the ball quicker, processing quicker. If he doesn't have it, he's not doing as much over dribbling. Sometimes he shoots some of these shots, you're like, okay, but at the same time, it's like, at least in my opinion, shots that I feel comfortable with because they're transition threes or they're early in the shot clock, defense isn't set. Like it's just his shot selection along with, I feel like Duncan's shot selection is, to be honest, I don't think I've ever been like, Duncan, why the fuck you took that three? Sometimes I'm like,
Never been
Duncan,
mad at
why
a Duncan
didn't
shot.
you take that three? Yeah. I get more mad at him when he doesn't than when he does. So it's like just the gravity of these two players in unison. Like it was just beautiful to watch today. Honestly, the offense was fucking humming in the most beautiful way. And then defensively, obviously they were good defensively. I feel like they're both above average help defenders. It's the struggle comes in containing dribble penetration, but playing against a team like Milwaukee, to be very honest, who it was basically Lillard and Giannis, like the dribble penetrate, like they're not guarding Giannis ever, so that dribble penetration is null. And Caleb did a great job today of just sticking with Lillard as best as he could, and they were doing a very good job of sending two when he wasn't, like forcing him out of the 3-point line and stuff. Like they were guarding Malik Beasley, and no disrespect to him, he's a great shooter, but like you didn't get to see their weakness defensively as much as you otherwise would, is my point. So it was able to work today. Will it work long term? Shit, I fucking hope so. But at least for today, gets an A+ from Coach Lou.
Quick on the defensive thing that you said, because shout out to Caleb for that. Whenever if he wasn't running offense at the top of the key and the ball would find him in the corner, I thought Caleb did a great job of sending him baseline, using that baseline to kind of guide him and pin him. He was able to guard him one-on-one in those situations, and it forced a really long kick out. And Miami was able to be there defensively and kind of swarm and do all that they need to do without sending too much help at Dame, because really when you send a lot of help at guards, that's when kind of teams start picking Miami apart. So credit to them, because I thought they did a really good job of not over helping today. They sent just the right amount of help.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bond, we've talked about this a lot. They both over and under help all the time. Today was just right. Also, kind of to Lou's point as well, like Tyler Hero, just the right amount of dribbling today. Wasn't too much, wasn't too little. And I think that's the kind of game that you need him to play. Didn't have the scoring explosion that he has had in the past. He had 19 points today, but it was a good 19 points today. 3 of 8 from 3, 7 of 16 from the field. Only 1 turnover, which is really big.
Key.
Yeah, 5 assists. That means he's moving the ball around. Bon, I loved his floor game tonight, and we're gonna get into Bam in a second because I really want to talk about what he did tonight. But real quick on Tyler, let's just the kind of game that I think we all want to see from him.
Yeah, and a lot of what Lou said is so spot on about it. And there's Alf in the group chat talks all the time about like, why doesn't the three of them work or whatever? And there always feels to be like there's, in the three being Tyler, Bam, Jimmy, there always seems to be a level of figuring something out. Whatever the something is, kind of when I guess one of the three isn't there. And it's no knock to Jimmy at all. But so when you have Jimmy kind of isolated in the mid post, right? Or off of the extended block, kind of in the short wing. You are pretty much confined to running your action on one side of the floor. You're getting what you're either your handoffs, your flares, whatever, and then your lane to cut from the opposite 45 is there. But again, depending on whatever other kind of action you're running, there is space, but it's not as much space. Because if you come even to a shade over, the midline, a shade over the basket, now you're mucking up kind of the space for Jimmy. Without Jimmy and with kind of two central hubs, Bam moving and kind of his DHO settling to the dunker spot area types of things, but then Nikola being able to do some DHO stuff, but also a pop threat. Now you have like a sharing of the floor and opposite, like opposing diagonal directions, which kind of just stretches shit out in a more functional and like useful way. So you're able to get action happening on one side, action happening on another, and the ball pops. And I feel like, and I don't want to psychoanalyze Tyler much at all, but there almost for me feels to be like there's something to be felt about knowing it's coming back to you at some point, whether you're getting the shot or not, but it's popping, it's moving, and it feels like there's a greater willingness to kind of go with that type of flow, as opposed to you got an ISO possession. Shit, I can take mine too. And I don't want to say that that's his mentality, but there's space to kind
it's
of
the vibe.
It's the vibe, right? A little bit. So I don't know. I agree with a lot of what Lou said, and just kind of what and a lot of it is Nikola's ability to pick and pop and stretch that way and still kind of move it defensively. Tyler's had really solid defensive effort for the large stretch of this season, and it's even gotten to a point to where it's not even just effort. Like he's not just running around kind of looking like he's doing something. He's doing good angled work. He's doing some good cutting off things, and they rotated on the backside really nice today. Go ahead.
I do think that's a failure on the Bucks, because I think a better team like Boston makes you pay for having him. Like
fair.
I always go to the Atlanta playing game, because what I thought they did really well was manipulate who Miami's low man is. So, in that game, obviously Kyle Lowry was usually their low man, small guy. And what Kyle was good at, and what Miami's guards tend to be good at, is when you rotate over, they have quick hands. They're trying to get strips. They're trying to take charges. They're trying to do that dirty work. And what Atlanta did was, Trae Young obviously has so much range. They were setting screens 3-4 feet behind the 3-point line. And now Clint Capella's rolling with momentum. You're not, that gather is at the nail, right? Free throw line area. You're not getting a hand. Yeah, exactly. So like, what Milwaukee should be doing with Giannis is using Dame range to kind of get him rolling to a point where Tyler Hero now has to rotate to help. And now that forces Miami to reconfigure their defense in a game that matters. That didn't happen tonight, but again, that's Doc Rivers, baby. You know what I mean?
Let Tyler do a bunch of like funneling but solid stuff kind of on the wing, where he still had a Bam, now had a Jovic, and had people, left and right of him.
And they were doing this thing, Bon, where they would show like hard and then come back to their man. They were doing that a lot today, Duncan and Tyler in particular. And I thought they were getting back quick.
It was the getting back. Yeah.
And it was like they'd mix it up, because sometimes it'd be like a fake one, and then they like go back, so they freeze the ball handler, so then it kind of lets the guy on ball recover. So there were a couple things that I really liked from them, but I got to see them kind of when they're schemed, for better teams. I thought Boston showed you, okay, we're just gonna, we have wings that can hunt. We're gonna get Robinson in the pick and roll every time. We're gonna go at you.
I wanted to mention something before we end off on Tyler and Hero.
It
might send me
you
to
say
jail.
Tyler and Hero?
Tyler and
My
Hero.
bad. Hey,
Tyler and Hero?
Tyler and D-Rob. It kind of, the way they were moving off each other, playing off ball, off of Bam screens, it kind of looked like Curry and Clay with Draymond.
I knew that's what you were going to say. Put this man
You're going to jail. Are you wearing the same shirt as yesterday, by the way?
No.
What kind of homeless ass?
I changed it. But am
You're
I
not
wrong?
entirely.
You're in jail. We're not talking about the Warriors.
Vaughn, am I wrong?
We're not talking about the Warriors. And Kawhi is missing like his first game in like 2 months against the Warriors. The Black Magic. Well, Mahomes and Curry are on the same thing.
Curry is back, bro. I'm sorry to tell
I
you,
want to hear this. Where the Heat are back. Lou, Pablo.
Heat our back.
Bam Adebayo played the platonic idea of what we want out of him.
Yep.
Operating, as you said, as a hub, the pass crispy, está creepy. You got the rebounding. You have being a big. He lost his dribble a couple times. A little embarrassing. We don't have to talk about that. But 16, 12, and 11, 57% shooting. Bobby, that's what it's about. That's what we need. You don't need to be isolation scorer. You need to be that. You need to be Draymond Green with more of a bag.
Yeah.
He just needs to. It's funny because every time they posted him, I was like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, genuinely, like the offense is moving so crisp. At the start of the fourth quarter, they went to him 3 times. He scored the first one. The Kevin Love bailed him out with the second shot. That was a ridiculous shot. And then the third one he missed. And I'm like, can we stop doing this? We are not an isolation basketball team anywhere. Point blank.
There's
period.
one guy who should
unless
be allowed
it's Jimmy
to isolate.
Butler in the playoffs
On a switch.
On a switch, we are not that.
Because I don't want that man isolating against men his size or men bigger than him.
No, and Bam played a fantastic game today. I do think he left a lot on the table. I'll be very honest. He missed about 4 or 5 bunnies. But it's not
that turnover on the fast break.
Oh my goodness,
man!
I looked away.
Me out.
I was baffled.
Shield your eyes.
So yeah, it was.
I started a hashtag. Stuff like that is hashtag Bam hands.
Yeah, no, for real. But like I'm glad because he wasn't asked to carry the offense in terms of scoring. He was asked to make everybody's job easier. Whether that was, he's a fantastic screener. So whether he was screening, whether he was operating like in the high post, like I think one of the turning points of the game, and it's going to sound ridiculous, was there was a stretch in the third quarter where Spo had to call a timeout. They came out of the timeout. Jovic brought the ball up because they know Giannis was guarding him. So they ran a ball. They gave it to Bam in the post. Jovic is up top. And then Duncan, he was getting top locked. So he just cut back door. Bam hit him, easy layup, get the offense back flowing. Like little things like that, just being able to process things. I don't want Bam to be a scorer. I want him to be the hustle guy. And today he was the hustle guy. He had 5 offensive rebounds, finished with 11 assists.
Rebounding out of his area.
Rebound, like little things like that is when Bam is like, that's when you're like, when you watch him, you're like, yeah, that motherfucker's a max player, no fucking question. Because he does everything to affect the game. Now, if you just confine him to, Bam, we need you to score. Like, that's not, he can do that every now and then, but that's not the best way to go about things. And I'm glad that they're starting to realize this. I don't want to say starting to realize this.
Let's hope.
But they're just unlocking the potential of the team. Like, yeah, Bam could get his stats. Bam could have gone out there today and scored like Giannis did, like 23, whatever it was. But for what purpose if it was going to just completely slow down everybody else?
Yeah.
You know what's bad about him kind of in the low post or in that face-up area is that that's not a playmaking position for him.
Absolutely
He's not Shaq. Like Shaq could play make out of that spot, right? That's where one of the most underrated passers in the history of the league. That's where Shaq made his bread. But Bam, as we talked about, is an elbow guy, and you want him to operate off those handoffs. I mean, I love when they run a guy from the corner to come into a handoff, vacating that corner on the strong side. So it's empty. The weak side guy, relocates and they have movement and the help gets confused. And now Bam has a lane to roll. The shooter,
oh my gosh.
You bond,
There was, and I don't know if we were going to go back to the offense at all or give Spo some more love. I'm like super flustered because like this was such a fun game for me. But you're talking about Bam and coupling him kind of with Duncan. There was a play and they ran it back to back, but they ran it first to the right, second to the left, and it was Caleb in the corner, Nikola in the dunker spot. Tyler brought the ball up. Bam and Duncan on the right side. Bam sprints up to set the ball screen. Tyler does a great job handling the double, gets it out on the roll. As Bam is coming to like set the screen, Duncan sprints up like he's like going to set the Spain, but like vacates out the Spain, pops to the left wing, and Bam just had so much, but he missed it. He missed the bunny. But the way that like
Yeah, I
Bam
know exactly
like
what you
streaked
mean. Yeah.
up Duncan and Pop, and like you're either sending Duncan's defender to corral Bam because he just had so much space, or you're ending up with sending two to Duncan. Like it was super, like it was really well run.
And
I thought
Bond.
again, Spo deserves a lot of credit for shit like that. But yeah, like you said, getting Bam kind of in a wide open space.
And good teams, like a good and well-coached team, will run, like you said, Duncan goes to set that fake Spain screen. You run those layers of mix-ups because a team has that scouted for Miami. So good teams are like, they sniff that out, but then you run the decoy. So now when that guy goes to screen, you have to be like, okay, I need to cover this option and this option, and there's no option select that's going to cover both. So you need to be, and that gets exhausting throughout the course of 7 games. And I think Miami wears teams out like that. And B, it's just stressful, bro. Like this team could be so stressful to play against, yet they find a way to set when they stand and when they post up. The only dude that should post up is Jimmy when he gets a switch, because Jimmy just puts small dudes in the torture chamber and it's easy offense. I like when Jaime does it, when he gets a favorable matchup. You got to play smart. You cannot play to your strengths. And today was a good example.
Too much to mention.
They played to their strength. Chat's asking, why is Pablo in jail? Why did he get arrested? Because he wanted to talk about how great the Warriors are. And honestly, today's not the day for that. Today is not the day.
I said they played like them.
I don't want to hear
my
that.
Wi-Fi in this Joe.
I don't want to hear that.
It's like when the bars go up, like your Wi-Fi connection gets fucked. Want to give a quick couple shout outs. We had Vane Hype gifting a tier 1 sub to Thanasis. So shout out to Vane Hype. We got M Hagen 2017 resubscribe with Prime for a month. They've been subscribed for 16 months. So
we got Thanasis in right around 8 minutes.
That's crazy.
But yes, finish G. Shout out to
bro. That was like the early Pepas. That was like the early ass Pepas.
Oh yeah.
Eric Reid, menace tonight. I was waiting for him to say something about the NASAs. He had that one line where he said, Doc Rivers remembering right now how easy it is to talk about it with headsets on.
He said that. I thought that was just a tweet.
Bond. I love when Eric Reid is unhinged. Unhinged Eric Reid.
Man,
when this was I wouldn't say it was as good as when he was flaming Blake Griffin when he was on the Pistons.
Blake Griffin gets
but this was I'm so happy he did this because I had talked about it recently, just like why the amount of hate. Adrian Griffin needs to get a job somewhere because he was not given a fucking opportunity. He was used as a bailout, and then they're like, oh, let's bring somebody who's hasn't done shit for over a fucking decade. Point blank. I don't mean to go off on Doc Rivers, but I think he's a fucking horrible coach. I don't think he should be in the league. I don't give a fuck if he won a championship. It was basically
no disrespect, but all disrespect.
No disrespect. Let me just,
bro.
Kyle Shanahan's a better fucking coach. At least Kyle Shanahan gets to the finals. He's been given good teams, can't get out the second round. JJ Redick talks about it at fucking nauseum. Wait till Chris Paul writes a book about it. The guy fucking stinks. Like, no, seriously, the guy sucks, bro. Like,
Chris Paul's coming for 2 people. Doc Rivers and Scott Foster.
Nobody's legacy has lived longer off of 1 ring than that fucking Celtics team.
Dude, it's
what
amazing.
What a bullshit ring, bro. What a bullshit.
Point blank period.
Bro.
Paul Pierce still talking shit. Doc Rivers still getting hired. Like, what the fuck are we fucking doing?
Perkins, Kendrick Perkins.
God.
Oh my lord, bro.
Kevin is the only one like being cool, just doing.
Yeah, I agree with Bob.
And Ray is just off the radar.
Ray's at Gulliver, bro. Ray's coaching Gulliver High School right now. Like he doesn't give a fuck about that.
That's what I'm saying. Ray's like, that wasn't that impressive. Kevin Garnett was like, these were some sorry motherfuckers too. Like, come on, man. Like,
but Paul Pierce, bro.
Doc Rivers,
Paul and Perk are the ones and Doc.
No, they're off of Perk. That's what the fuck they are. Like, this is ridiculous.
The most delusional ass motherfuckers, bro.
Work, Lou.
I'm sorry, man. I hate Doc Rivers.
Udonis still says on his podcast, it's on site with Paul Pierce. Like, even today, he's like, if I see Paul Pierce at the grocery store, on site.
Perk
I knock all this
Celtics.
shit over.
My goat, bro. I
Bro,
love you.
I,
I
I,
love you.
I still remember when Paul Pierce was retiring and he got mad that he didn't get no like fucking no farewell tour. That shit was so funny
They
to
don't
me,
love you
bro.
like that.
Did you
I don't
see
know
Gilbert
why you thought they
Arenas
did.
flaming Paul Pierce? It was if you haven't seen it, you need to search it up. Paul Pierce said he can play in today's league and average 10
What
points a game. And Gilbert Arenas said,
Like
man, you're
now?
sorry.
Like today?
Yeah. Yes, like today. Gilbert Arenas said, man, your sorry ass 10 years ago couldn't put up 10 points. Now you can't even fucking move. He's like, I don't want to hear that. You ain't guarding nobody. You couldn't even hit threes at that age.
My favorite Paul Pierce just like burn is still Jalen Rose, like just calmly going through the resumes. Okay, Dwayne Wade has 3 wings. You have 1. And then you have fucking what's her face in the background. Ooh, 3 is bigger than 1. Ooh.
The only time he Twitter was with that woman.
The only time. I'm with you when you're right.
The only time. So man, Eric Reid was fucking on one today, man. Doc Rivers got it. I just and Dame lost to the package again. I mean, Dame lost to the Dame package,
baby.
That's the name of the episode. Dame lost.
We've already done a Dame package.
Dame lost to the Dame package.
Part 2,
we've done you've lost to the Dame.
Yeah,
package.
but we didn't do.
Didn't do Dame lost to the Dame package. We'll work.
In this case, the sequel is better than the first one.
Did you guys see the Eric Reid clip where this little kid in a Bucks jersey and he looks so sad and it pans over to him and Eric Reid goes, "Sorry, little fella."
I love how they were showing the fans just evacuating with 10 minutes left in the fourth.
Bro, like it was a fucking fire drill.
And he
he
mentioned something about the playoffs last year too. Like Eric Reid was just unhinged. He almost hates Milwaukee.
About the playoffs.
He almost hates
he was
Milwaukee.
like, I haven't heard the Pfizer forum this quiet. Man, you'd think we were in the first round of the playoffs last year.
No, the fans were evacuating that building like married women running from Usher. Crazy.
All right.
Okay.
That man's a menace.
Fine. He is.
Anyways.
Doesn't care.
Yeah, guys. Happy day. Happy day.
Philly tomorrow.
Somebody just tweeted a label from a grocery store, premium crackers.
Exciting Whites, the wine is still a good
Exciting
one.
Whites, that's played out. Premium crackers.
Yeah.
That's premium crackers. That's some spice to it. Daywalker subscribed, gave a community sub.
Before we end, can chat send me some commentary? I need to get some new Wi-Fi up here. This shit sucks right now.
But if I could send you to jail twice, I would for soliciting services mid-show.
Solitary confinement.
Solitary. I gotta make the solitary confinement like background. You need like a Zoom background where it's just like the fucking white walls.
Yeah. And just like the vision rectangle hole and just like the meal tray hole.
All in all, what a get right win. It is their signature win in a season where they had not had a single win against a contending team the entire year. Their best win was probably an at-road win in the dog days of November against Cleveland. And here they are, a little bit before All-Star break. They lost a lot of their best players to injury and personal tragedy, and they come on the road to a rival, and they absolutely dominate them, buzzer to buzzer, left no question about who is the better team tonight. And now, listen, they get to go into Philadelphia, no Embiid. Kyle Lowry will not play. I saw he is quote-unquote reconditioning. Thank God. There is a God for me that I don't have to go through that. I hope he's not at the game, so I don't got to watch him on the bench. That's going to hurt. But, they're going to get us. They're going to get a wounded Sixer team, and hopefully they can close out this little stretch before All-Star break with a little bit of winning. I think the last thing I want to say is all season we have been absolutely dogging them, even when they were winning, because we did not like their habits. They didn't look right. What you got, Lou?
Not me.
Not you.
I love this team.
You love this team.
I think they're better than last year.
I think that since that team meeting, since the Sacramento game, something changed. And even in losses,
5-2.
I've liked what they've done. That Boston loss, I like the process. I don't care that they lost. I like they I think it was Frankie that said this. They may not be good right now, but they're at least fucking respectable. Because
Yeah.
you could not have said that during that little month and a half stretch before this. They were just not respectable
Yeah.
Yep.
as an NBA team. And
Absolutely.
they have gotten respectable. Not just that, they have been straight up good at times. They lost that Clipper game. We all got on here and said, I don't care. They played well. They lost that Boston game. We said, I don't care. They played well. They need 10, 15% more, but that 10, 15% more, they can find that. They have it in the roster.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And listen, tonight was a night that they got 50% more from a lot of their guys when they were down their best player and their new star acquisition and one of their most important role players. So that's all I want to say on that. It's been a great win. Love rocking with you guys. Listen, I had no energy, but chat and this Heat team and my wonderful panelists and co-hosts, brothers and sisters, really gave me the energy to get to the finish line. We love you guys, and we'll rock with you tomorrow for Heat Sixers before All-Star break. So see you then, chat.
Deuces.